What is going on, everybody? I am super excited this week for an awesome live stream. We have a really cool announcement, a very exciting tutorial, two tutorials, but one that I'm really excited about. And like I said, an announcement at the end that's going to be absolutely insane. I cannot wait. Here we go. I'm looking for the intro. There. All right, guys, welcome back to another live stream. We have a lot of cool stuff for you today in store. I am really excited for some of the performances you're going to see as well. I want to start with the rules of the channel, of the stream. This is something you all know, but I'm going to go over it again because I always do. First of all, absolutely zero tolerance for bullying. You guys know that. There's no room on this channel for bullying. So whether you're bullying somebody else in the chat, whether you're bullying one of the performers, you're out of here, banned for life. This is a channel where I want all of us to grow together, to learn together, trial and error. Sometimes things don't go as we plan, but we got to learn how to deal with that. So we don't need people discouraging us here at all. So if I see any bullying whatsoever, you will be banned for life from the channel. Second, please keep the chat relevant to what's going on. You see something you like, you see something that blows your mind, you're excited about something, tell us in the chat. I'd love to be in touch, but do not spam and talk about irrelevant things. It really makes the chat a complete mess to navigate. I won't ban you, but I will put you on timeout, send you to your room. That's it. Third of all, please don't reveal anything. If somebody's performing something, whether it's me or one of our guests, and it's something you recognize or it's something you've seen or something you know, do not yell out methods. That doesn't help anybody at all. It doesn't help you. It doesn't make you look as smart as you think it does. There's really no goal or benefit in doing that. So please, let's not do that. Good vibes. Thank you. Good vibes for you guys. Well, hello from Netherlands. Hello to you as well. Really excited, guys. As you know, with the stream, we have some viewers just like you, some subscribers who come in here to show us some magic. The way to do that is to either enter on the community YouTube page on Fridays or on Instagram. So I post in both places, and you just comment and you win a spot like everyone here today. Let's get right to it. Our first guest is from California, the OC. I think the show The OC was about him. I made that up. I have no evidence that that's the case. He's going to show us one of my favorite effects, a real classic. It's not one I've ever done on the channel, so I'm really excited to see it. Let's welcome to the stream my friend Aaron. How are you, my friend?
What's up, Spidey? I'm doing great.
Cool, man. I am really excited to see this. You know what? Let's not even say what it is because it might give the end away.
Yeah.
You know what? Hold on. Let me give you the spotlight here and go right ahead. We are watching, my friend.
All right, so Spidey, I got a deck of cards here. The interesting about this deck of cards is there's one card that it's up to you to say it. All right.
Oh.
So if no pressure, but if you say anything other than this one card, the trick's not going to work.
Oh,
so,
great.
Yeah. So just name any card off the top of your head, just not the ace of spades. It's a little too easy.
Seven of hearts.
You want you said the seven of hearts, and you can name any card you wanted.
Yeah.
You could have any card you wanted. You don't feel like this was planned out beforehand or anything?
No.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. All right. So seven of hearts. What if I told you that in this deck right here, one card was flipped face up, and it was the seven of hearts? Would you be impressed?
I would be insanely impressed because there wasn't enough weirdness to justify that.
Here, actually, first off, we'll take off the ace of spades because
let's get rid of that for sure.
If we spread the deck, there's a seven of hearts. I don't know if you can see it, but one card with seven of hearts face up in the deck.
Sick.
Yeah. Here's the crazy part though. You see, you're here. Actually, let me spread them like this. You can see that all these cards, they have one thing in common, and they're blue. The seven of hearts is actually red.
No!
It's actually red. I was so confident that I took it from a different deck. In fact, here, let's put it in here. The seven of hearts is actually the only card in the deck because everything else is just blank.
Oh, come on!
Yep, nothing else.
Dude, what the heck?
Thank you for saying the seven of hearts.
What? Guys, guys, what the hell is that? What? This is crazy. Okay, first of all, let's throw up some of these reactions here, Aaron, for you. Boom, boom, boom. Look at that, dude, killing it. Now, so Aaron told me he was going to come on the channel and he was going to do a brainwave. And a brainwave is normally like you have like 8 cards and somebody names one of them and you go like this and they're all different except for the one. It's different. Whatever. Irrelevant. Aaron, that was not what I expected when you said you were going to do a brainwave. I just want to ask you this, Aaron. You know who today's guest is. Don't say it because it's always a surprise. Is there a giant coincidence between the guest and the trick you just did?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and I hope he watched that because I don't know if he's like kind of getting ready, but I have a feeling that he had a bit of a contribution to what you just did.
Yeah, it's not the same thing, but it's
No,
like
I know it's not his thing, but his thing helped your thing.
Yeah, for sure.
So good, man. I love when that happens because like we didn't plan this in any way. It just so happens that the work of our special guest today inspired somebody said, guys, here's why we don't yell out methods. Special deck. It's not a special deck, and now you look like an idiot. Okay. Stop yelling out methods. No, it's not Aussie Wind. Good guess, but no. No, it's not a special deck. That's what's great about it. And those are normal cards, which is awesome. Good job.
If you look back, I think I flashed a little. You might be able to figure out what I did. I flashed
I don't think you did at all. I thought that was insanely cool. Guys, let's not yell out methods because most of you are wrong, and I don't want to start attacking. Somebody already guessed who our guest is. Somebody already guessed our guest. Aaron, thank you so much for that, buddy. Let's put up your social media. What a great way to start. That was insane. Yeah. I'm looking for it. It's Magic Morty, right? So you have a YouTube channel, guys. Go give him a follow. It's Magic Morty capitals. That's on YouTube. He's going to start posting some magic content there. And if this was an indication of the kind of content we can expect, hells yeah. Thanks so much, buddy. Aaron, thank you, man.
All right. Thank you, Spidey.
My pleasure. All right. Well, that was insanely cool. Our next guest, we're going across the ocean. Every day, I should say, I get messages from people saying, hey, Spidey, can you change the time of your stream because it's inconvenient for me? And as much as I would love to let guys think about it, I have to do this at a time that's convenient for me. Like I have a busy schedule and people go, oh, it's too late. I can't stay up. Well, our next guest, where she is right now, it's like, I think 2 a.m. or something like that, or maybe 3 a.m. She is 10 years old and she got her parents' permission to stay up to be here with us today. And she's one of the best fans of the channel, always commenting, always excited. Whenever we do live streams and the rest of you perform, she's always super encouraging. Her and her sister, they're the best. This is exactly the kind of subscribers I love to have on the channel. We're going to bring her in right now, all the way from India, one of my top active countries on the channel. You guys are always so awesome. Let's welcome to the channel, Anvisha. How are you?
I'm fine. Hi, Spidey.
Hi, Anvisha. What time is it for you right now?
It's 2 a.m.
2 a.m. and you stayed up to be on the stream. I'm so thankful for that. You are such a great example of, if you want to make something happen, just make it happen. Instead of complaining and telling me, hey, can you change the time? You just stayed up, and I appreciate that so much, Anvisha, and that's why you are here. Well, not the only reason you're here. I'm also really excited to see your trick. So, Anvisha, we're going to do this so that everyone can see you. Actually, you know what? I kind of feel like this was better. Yeah, we see you better like this. So let's do this. Anvisha, we are watching. Go ahead.
I'm so glad to be on your show.
Oh, this is amazing. And you know what? Chahat is here as well, and she's encouraging you. I know you've seen her on the channel. She's incredible. So she's from India as well, and she's a female magician just like you. So hi, Chahat. Always nice to see you. So Anvisha, go ahead. We are watching.
Yeah, so I have a deck of cards, and you can see these are in a random order.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now I'll spread the cards out like this. Now I want you to say stop whenever you like.
Stop.
So that's completely fair, right? This card right
100%.
here.
That's extremely fair. Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna push out that card right there, and I'm gonna be turning over while you can see the card. Can you see the card?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So remember that card.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, out of all these cards, there's one card selected and which is yours. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like impossible for me to get to your card, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So now what I want to do is I just want to put your card in the middle. So just say stop whenever you like.
Stop right there.
There.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll put this card back there. And if you were here, you could have shuffled it. Since you're not, I'll shuffle it. Okay.
So fair. Yeah.
Now
Okay.
this deck is shuffled. And now I'll keep this deck right here.
Okay.
Now I have one more deck in which I want you to remember that card.
I
Okay.
do.
And this trick is just to get into your mind.
Okay.
Okay. Now I want you to sister whenever you like.
Stop.
There.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the rest of the cards which are there in my hand, I'm going to be shuffling them. Okay.
Yeah.
And now again say stop.
Stop.
There.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fair or do you want to change your mind?
I like that one.
Okay. So now go ahead, take a look at your card. It's
Yeah.
okay if I see it. So
Okay.
okay. Now I'm gonna put it somewhere in the middle. Okay. Now it's somewhere in the middle. So this is the part I get into your mind. I will make you say stop exactly where I want you to. So just say stop whenever you like.
Stop right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will also see this card. So it's the 7 of clubs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is, we don't need the suit. All we need is the number. So it's 7. It's a 7. So I'll just count down 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 7th card, right?
Yeah.
And was this your card?
Yeah. Yes, that was the second card I chose. Yeah.
Yeah. So now this is where I get into your mind. I want you to focus on the other card which you have chosen from this deck.
Yeah.
Okay. I see it in your head. I think it's, I'm guessing it's a red card.
Yeah.
I think it's like an 8.
Yes.
Was it the 8 of hearts?
No.
Huh. Now let me again take a guess. It was an 8.
Mm-hmm.
It was red.
Hmm.
It was the 8 of diamonds.
Yes. Wow. 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 There's so much going on here because so there's 2 separate tricks. The first one is the 8 of diamonds, guessing that one, and then the second one is having a card selected and then having another one selected and counting that many down and finding the card. And I didn't follow that. It's crazy because, like I always say, like I'm looking at the comments, I'm looking at the things, but there was just, first of all, I want to post all these comments you're getting, Anvisha.
Thank you. Thank you all.
So here's the thing. You are unreasonably good because when you're 10, you're not supposed to be able to present that well, to be able to speak that clearly. Plus, Anvisha, is English your first language?
No.
What's your first language?
Hindi.
Hindi is your first language. English is your second language, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. She presented a trick in her second language fluently, clearly, Everything was like no nervousness, no hesitation, no I mean, even me at my age, after doing magic, as long as I've been doing it, if I were to do a trick in my second language, which is French, I wouldn't be that confident. So, Anvisha, you are amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for staying up. That was an incredible trick. You are incredible. Let's put your social media up here. Guys, this is her Instagram. Crew_sisters, and there isn't any magic content there now, but it's coming because she needs to post more stuff. Anvisha, that was incredible. Thank you so much for being with us. We're going to say goodbye right now. Thank you. I cut her off. That was really rude of me. She was saying thank you, and I cut her off. But that was incredible. It's always amazing to see, you know, young people come to the channel and just bring that amount of, you know, just you could see that she's passionate about this, and that was incredible. Good job. And then the comments are coming in like crazy. Cool. Sorry, just sort of reading the comments, navigating through the comments. Great, this is going really well. Let's bring in one more guest, and I'm going to hit you guys with a tutorial, or rather an update of the tutorial from last week, something a little touch we can add. So there he is. So let us welcome now to the channel. We're going back to the USA. Our second youngest guest of the day. He is from Indiana, USA, and let us welcome to the channel, Wes.
Hey, Spidey, how's it going?
How are you? I'm doing great, man. Look at you.
All right. Glad to be here today.
This is what time is it for you?
It is 3:46 according to my clock.
Same time zone as me. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Wes, you are going to show us something a little bit more visual. So far, we've seen a couple of cool mentals and things.
Yeah.
You're going to show us something a little more visual, yeah?
Yeah, frankly, I've always been pretty clunky when it comes to mentalism. I've never really had that click, but I love doing visual stuff for like the camera and for spectators. So
let's do it.
Yeah. So basically what we're going to do is I have 4 aces with me. Oh, lighting's hard to see that in a second. So these are ace of hearts, clubs, diamonds, and spades, right?
Yep.
And so what we're going to do is we're just going to leave the ace of hearts right here on the table, which leaves us with the ace of clubs, diamonds, and spades right here. Now, I think it is perfectly appropriate, since the ace of diamonds is the last red ace, we're going to banish that one first, because I'm going to basically, what's going to happen is I'm going to take all 3 of these aces, vanish them one at a time, 1, 2, 3, and have them pop over right over here, okay?
Ooh, okay.
So let's try with the ace of diamonds first. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold the ace of diamonds right here between these 2 cards, and bam, just like that, it's actually gone.
Nice.
So now, since we're left with the 2 black aces over here, it's only sensible that we have the 2 red aces over here, the ace of diamonds and the ace of hearts.
Oh, sick.
So we're going to leave those on the table right here. Can you guys all see that? Okay, cool.
Yep.
So now, to make the ace of clubs disappear, we're going to put it behind the ace of spades. Spidey, you're a magician. You're obviously very, you're very in the know about this kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah, sorry, in the know, yeah.
So you're familiar with the move called the double lift, correct?
Yeah, no, I am. Yeah, totally.
Okay, good. Just making sure. So I'm actually going to put the ace of clubs behind the ace of spades and hold it like it's a double lift. Can you see that? Can you see that? Is that okay?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
What I'm going to do is put the double down on the table. And I've practiced my double lifts quite a lot, even though sometimes they still need to be squared up. But I practice my double lifts a lot. And I practice it so much that sometimes it actually does look like just one card.
That is one card. Wes, I mean, sorry, that is one card. You're lying. It's one.
And funny enough, it actually went right over here. Now, we've done stuff with all 3 aces so far. And so we've done stuff with these 3 aces, but what about the ace of spades? We don't want to leave it out. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to deal it onto the table. I'm going to leave these 3 aces right over here, like that. I'm going to take the ace, and I'm actually going to take it, I'm going to crumple it up, just like that.
Nice.
And I'm actually going to take the crumpled up pieces and put it right here. You can actually see that now, just like that. There are 4 aces.
Very, very, very cool, my man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Guys, let us know what you think of that dope ace transpo, which kind of looks a little bit like invisible palm aces, but not quite. You've got the comments popping in. And also, guys, let's take a second to appreciate. Hold on. They're coming in. Check it out, bro. You're on fire.
Oh my God.
Nah, I can't keep up. Dude, I can't keep up. I'm going to stop now because there's infinite comments. Wes, I also really appreciate you coming on here and doing something that is not easy to do in terms of sleight of hand. You know, there's certain, I know it's silly to say angles because you're playing to a camera, but there's still certain angles that you might not nail, or it's very risky. It's easier to come on here and do something that's a little bit more, you know, like a little easier on the slights. But you went a difficult route, and I do appreciate that, Wes. Let's put your is this your Instagram or your YouTube?
That's my YouTube, and it's actually capital W with a space in the capital B, but that's okay. You'll find it probably anyway.
Yeah, so it's Wes Bisciglia.
Basilia, yeah, it's just really hard to pronounce.
What is it? How do you say it? Basilia?
Yeah, Basilia. It's
the G is useless.
Yeah, exactly. It's like new.
What is it even doing there? There's a guy out there called Orge instead of George because you took his G.
Exactly.
So West Basilia, Basilia, like this with the pinky. That's guys, go give him a follow on YouTube. He is a dope magician. I really enjoyed that, Wes. Thank you so much, man. You are my favorite magician with the first name Wes. I'm kidding.
I got you.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I've got Wes Barker is one of my closest friends in the whole world, so I feel really bad saying that. So, but you're up there, top two. That's still really good.
Yeah.
Top two Wes.
I can't top Wes Barker. There's no way.
I mean, none of us can.
He's
but that's cool. You've made my list of top two Wes magicians named Wes. So that's great. That's you should frame that.
Awesome.
Just frame it in your mind. Wes, thank you so much for being here, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna say goodbye. All right. I want to show you guys a bit of an update on the tutorial that we did last week. So in the comments, let me know if you guys enjoyed the tutorial, which was a really cool way where the spectator finds their own card. You know, you slide the card like this, they say stop, and then you turn it over and you go to the card where they said stop and they found their own card. Or you can use it as a force as well. Let me know in the comments if you guys saw it. Oh, good. I could see you guys checked it out. Thank you. Good. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's a really, really cool way to have the spectator find their own card, or a way to have them choose a card and you already know what it is, but it's really fair, really direct, really clean. Now, in that one, you need a double backer, and that's how the method works and why it looks as good as it looks. I'm going to teach you guys an update on that, not an update, just a variation on that, where it's got an advantage. And the advantage is, for this version, you don't need the double backer. You could do this with a normal deck of cards, which is pretty cool. And those of you who watch, are like, oh my God, I can't believe there's a version where I could do this without double backer. You can, but there's two disadvantages. One is you can't do it virtually. It has to be done in person. You have to put the deck in their hands. And the second thing is it takes a little bit more management because, well, you'll see. So basically, here's what it looks like. Like I said, it's not virtual. I can't do it. But those of you who watch the video will understand. So let's say I want to force the King of Clubs, or that was their card, and I want them to find their own card. So how do we get a card to the bottom? Well, you guys go back to the channel and check out some other tutorials. For example, I taught the convincing control several times on the channel. So let's say they have the Ace of Diamonds right there. That's the card that they chose. And you have them push it in like this, and you've already got it at the bottom. So that's called the convincing control. I teach it in a tutorial. You know what? I'll leave a link in the description after the video where you guys can go learn what I just did to get their card to the bottom. So whatever it is, you've got the card you want them to choose, or the card you want them to find at the bottom, the Ace of Diamonds. So here's what you do now. You tell them, So look, you're thinking of one of these cards, and in a moment, I'm going to give you this deck. You say either under the table, so you're sitting down at a table and they're across from you, or you stand next to them. So they're here. The audience is here. They're next to you. So you say, I'm going to hand you the deck, and behind your back or under the table, you're going to cut as many cards as you want. You're going to turn it over and put it upside down on top of the deck. Then we're going to spread through, and we're going to take a look at the first card that is face down. So in this case, it would have been the 4 of spades. So you just explain that. You just go through the motions. You cut some cards, you turn it over, you spread through, and you show. You're just kind of giving them an example. Now you shuffle the cards. But the way you shuffle the cards is you turn this way. So my body is turned here so they can't see that there are cards at the bottom. And with my thumb, I peel that card off, and I shuffle all the cards like this. So it looks like you just gave the cards a quick shuffle, but you've brought the ace of diamonds to the top. And again, quickly, that looks like this. Say, all right, we'll give it a shuffle before you begin. Now the ace of diamonds, their card is on top. Or again, this could be a force card. So you don't have to pick one. It's just you're going to force this card. So now you go to give them the deck under the table, or you go behind their back. Once the deck is out of view, so either it's under the table like this, you're going to give it to them, or if they're standing here, let's say they are this chair, you go to give it to them behind the back. Here's what you do. Your left thumb is going to push that top card over like this onto your fingers, then squeeze at the bottom, flip it over, and put it back on top face up like this. So it's a one-handed turnover. So as you go under the table to hand them, say, go grab the deck from under the table, you do this, and you hand them the deck. So now, under the table, they can't see that that's face up, or behind their back, they can't see that that's face up. And what's going to end up happening is they're going to cut, they're going to turn it over, and look what happens. They themselves put the ace of diamonds where they cut. Isn't that crazy? So now they bring the deck back up, and you say, okay, so let's go over what happened. You picked a card, it went back into the deck, I shuffled the cards, you cut the deck where you wanted, and you cut the deck right over there. What was the card you chose? They say ace of diamonds. Booms. You nailed it. Now, again, it doesn't have to be a reveal. It can be a prediction or like a mentalism type thing. So you've got, in the video last week, I said you've got a tattoo, but it doesn't have to be a tattoo. It could be literally anything. So let's say I've got a prediction over here. I look at my bottom card, it's 7 of diamonds. So I write down 7 of diamonds and I give them this prediction. I say, hold on to this. And so they've got that. And you do the same thing. You say, look, I've got a deck of cards, and in a moment, you're going to cut the cards like this. You're going to turn them over, the amount you cut. You're going to put it back on top. We're going to spread through the cards, and we're going to take a look at the card that you cut to. Now I'll shuffle the cards. So now I've done the same thing. I moved the 7 of diamonds from the bottom to the top. So now it's over here. And I said, stay behind the back. I go, okay, grab the card. So I go behind their back, and behind their back, I just do that. And I hand it to them. So now behind their back, they cut, they flip, they put it face down, they bring the deck back out, and you very fairly say, look, you cut right here. Let's see what you cut to. The 7 of diamonds. They look at your prediction. It says 7 of diamonds. I prefer under the table than behind the back. Also, I can't take credit for this. This is something that it's very, very old. Animan talked about it in at least one of his books. It's something he uses a lot, or used a lot. Also, Paul Curry used this a lot, but it's a really, really cool force. And I'm glad you guys like it. Yeah, exactly. So as Rahul said, that's exactly what it is. Mohammed, thank you. It's that same force with the double backer. With the double backer, you've got a really clean way to do it, to where it's all in the open, it's all fair. But if you don't have the double backer with you, this is a really, really cool way to just do it under the table. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I think it's a lot of fun. Let's move on. As I said earlier, guys, we have another tutorial coming up with my special guest at the end, and a really, really cool announcement. But for right now, let's bring in, we have 2 guests on. Oh, okay, so speaking of tutorials, I'm really excited for this next one. Speaking of tutorials, our next guest is going to perform something that was taught on the channel. So this is a routine that he learned on the channel that I uploaded. I think it was over the summer. One of my tutorials. It's one of my favorite card tricks in the world. It's done with, there's no gimmicked cards, no gaffed cards, and it just keeps getting better and better. I don't want to ruin what he's going to do, but this is something I used to do in my close-up show. I love this thing. So I used to open with this in my close-up show. So, and I taught on the channel. And I'm only saying that because I want to show off the amount of great stuff I teach you guys. I'm kidding. I love this thing. So let's welcome to the channel all the way from London, England, across the ocean. Let's welcome Dan to the channel. Dan, my friend, how are you?
Hi, it's Bud. I'm good, thanks. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I feel like with that accent, even if you're terrible at the magic, it doesn't matter because it's such a charming accent. So I'm really excited to see this trick done with that accent. So I'm going to give you the screen here, Dan, just like this. And Dan, you were talking about this a little earlier. You're not a professional magician. You do magic for fun. You started learning a couple of months ago. And this is one of the pieces you learned on the channel.
Absolutely, yeah. It's your trick, your version of the trick. So thanks very much. I had a lot of fun learning it and performing it for friends and family.
Let's have a look. Let's see it.
Okay, I'm just going to put the camera down there. Okay, so let's kick off. Okay, so I'm just going to put some cards down here. Make sure you can see what I can see, so I know where to keep the cards. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cards down there. You see all those?
Yes, sir.
Super. Okay, so as you know, that is kind of the trick, is to take 4 cards out of this deck. But obviously, I'm not going to take just any 4 cards. I'm going to produce for you 4 of a kind. Today, I think I'll try and produce the aces. Okay. So I'll tell you how I'm going to get the aces out of the deck in a moment, okay? But before I do that, I need to perform what is known, or I've called, the upside down shuffle, okay? So what I'm doing here is I'm mixing the deck. So you can see roughly half the deck there going in face up and half the deck face down. That's the upside down shuffle.
Complete disaster, yes.
Absolutely. So I said I was going to take out the 4 aces. The way I'm going to do that, Spidey, as you may well know, is I'm going to cut the deck 3 times, okay? And on the 3rd cut, all being well, that should be the first ace. So let's give it a go. So cut across like that. Those cards go to the bottom. Take some off the bottom. They come up to the top. And on the 3rd cut, boom. There it is, ace number 1. Okay, so let's put that down here. Okay, so that's 1 down, 3 to go. This part of the trick at this time, I normally tell people, my audience, where I learned the trick from. So this is where you get a mention. And I think it was originally Martin Nash, and you've obviously adapted the trick and made it your own, given it an extra wow factor. It's a brilliant tutorial. Thank you. So again, cut the pack 3 times. On the 3rd cut, all being well, there it is. That's our 2nd ace. That's the ace of clubs there.
Yes.
Put that down.
Amazing. You must have a lot of skill.
So 2 down, 2 to go. Okay, so it is getting harder to find these aces. There's only 2 left in the deck, so statistically now it's much harder to find the ace. Do you know what the chances are of me finding one of these aces now?
2 out of 50, so 1 of 25.
I was going to say slim, but that's probably right. Okay, so here we go. Let's give it a go. Right, we cut once, twice, 3 times, and then we cut away there. There's the 3rd ace. Okay, that's great. So far, so good. We're quite nervous here doing this. So good. Okay, so 1 left to find. It is the hardest one to find. It's the last ace in the deck, okay? And the trick has been known to go wrong at this point, but I'm going to give it my best. I want to do this, so here we go. So let's cut those away. They go to the bottom. That comes off the bottom, goes up to the top. When we cut, oh, no. That's embarrassing, okay? That's a bit awkward. That, as you can see, is not an ace. It's a king, okay? But look. you know this. The best thing about being a magician is if you get a card you don't like, you can make it into a card that you do like.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to take this card, goes into my hand goes over, comes out, all being well, should be an ace now.
No.
Did I do it? Oh, no,
I was
still a
going
king.
to scream if that wasn't it.
That's embarrassing. Okay, so look, I can't turn a king into an ace, but what if I could do this? And turn 3 aces into 3 kings. And there's your 4 of a kind. Okay, so I put these down here. Let me show you something else I learned from you, Spidey. You know, a moment ago I did the upside down shuffle. You saw me mix the deck, half the cards face down, half the cards face up. If you watched this carefully, did you see what I did?
No, it looked like you just riffled the cards.
No, I've reoriented the deck. So if I go through the pack now, you'll see every card facing up, except for 1, 2, 3, 4 cards there, Spidey. And guess what? That's the 4 aces I promised to find. So look, I've got to share something with you. I have cheated, okay? I'm going to tell you what I've done. I've marked these cards.
Oh.
I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but if you look close up, you see on the back, that's blue on the back there.
Yeah, it's blue.
Again, this is blue on the back there.
Yeah, where's the mark?
Blue. And again, blue on the back, okay? So that's the aces. They've all got that blue marking on the back. You look at the kings, it's the same.
Yeah.
Blue there. Blue again.
Yeah.
Blue and blue on the back. So the aces and the kings are all marked. They're all blue on the back. That's how I knew where they were. That's how I knew how to find them in the deck, because not only are those cards all blue, but they're the only blue cards in the entire deck.
What? It's such a treat. It is such a treat, man, to watch someone do that so well. And it's amazing. Like 6 months ago, you didn't do any tricks, and then you just popped on the channel. You learned that, and you do it so beautifully. Amazing pattern. The handling is surprisingly amazing for someone who's been doing this, really not that long. So incredible.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah. So some of you, it seems like you guys don't, from the reactions that some of you haven't seen this one. It's on the channel. There's a tutorial for it. I will leave look at this, Dan. You're getting, despite the fact that we've taught it, you're getting some amazing reactions.
Awesome. Well, thank you. It's a great tutorial.
So guys, listen, if you don't know that one or you want to learn that one, I'll leave a link in the description where you guys could learn that. It's one of my favorites. As you can see, it's crazy because even for someone who knows it so well, watching it, I'm like, oh man, it still just looks so good even when you know. So Dan, thank you for that treat. It's amazing for me to see something that you learned on the channel. And guys, I hope some of you in the future will apply to be on the stream with tricks you're learning on the channel, because it's such a treat for me to see the progress you guys are making. Dan, thank you so much, my friend, for being here.
Everybody, thanks.
And I love the artwork behind you as well. So thanks so much, man. We're going to say goodbye for right now. There was somebody above who said that I invented that trick. I did not invent Title Bout. Title Bout was invented by Martin Nash. It's so well structured. It's insane. I added something to it, and the thing I added was the fact that at the end, the deck is a different color. I think it's an extra kicker. It's an extra layer on top, but I cannot take credit for having created the skeleton of the trick. I just added that at the end, and I taught it to you guys with my variation, but it's called Title Bout. It's very close to a trick called Magician versus Gambler, which is a slightly different pattern about a gambler who challenged a magician. But actually, they're so similar that it's hard to tell the difference. He kind of made both very similar, but regardless, I think that's Title Bout. Whatever, they're both very similar, but it is by Martin Nash, and I just added something at the end. Okay, One last guess for you guys. I'm excited to see this effect. By the description alone, I'm already fooled. So this is going to be okay. Yeah, guys, someone's spamming. Mohammed, I appreciate your excitement, but please stop spamming. Otherwise, I'm going to have to put you on timeout. Thank you. Yeah, René Lavande does do it, which is insane because René Lavande has only one hand. And he does title bout with one hand. Okay. One last guest before our special guest. So, I mean, they're all my special guests. I don't want to say that's mean to say that. I just mean one last guest before my friend guest. So let's bring in this next guest from USA or from Pennsylvania. He's 20 years old, and he is going to show us a really cool routine that I don't, just by the description of it, I don't think I'm familiar with. So here we go. Yes, you were spamming. You sent the same message 4 times in a row, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, 8, 9, 10 times in a row. That's the definition of spamming. So Zachary, here he is. Zachary Gutherman.
How's it going, Spidey? How are you doing?
I am doing great, Zach. Thank you for being with us. I'm really excited to see this routine based on what you described. So go ahead, hit me with it. I'm ready.
Pressure's on. So I'd like to show you something, Spidey, that's really special to me because it combines 2 of my favorite things, which is magic and Lego bricks. So if we pan down here, you'll see I actually have this right here. Now this, Spidey, is what I like to call the magic Lego box. And it looks just like a regular Lego box. You know, it doesn't look anything crazy. There's no trapdoors, no hidden compartments, no illegal Lego building techniques. But I'd like to show you the magic of it, if that's all right. Does that sound good?
Sure.
All right, awesome. So inside of the magic Lego box, Spidey, we have a deck of cards. I want you to see it's an ordinary deck of cards. You can see the cards. They are all mixed up. I shuffled them before the show. But I want you to be 100% certain that these cards really are mixed up, all right? So I'm going to shuffle them for you. Now, I'm sure you know that magicians can do false shuffles, you know, make it look like they're shuffling, but not actually. So because of that, I want to shuffle in the most fair way possible. And that would be for me to shuffle the cards face up, just like this. Based off this page, does this look like a fair shuffle? Right there?
You lagged there for a sec, but
Seems
you're
fair,
back.
right,
Yeah.
Spidey?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. So Spidey, what I'm going to do as simple as possible, I'm going to start dealing the cards down onto the table here, one by one. And whenever you want, Spidey, do it on a couple there. Whenever you want, I want you to say stop, okay? Whenever you want, I want you to say stop, Spidey. All I ask, though, is that please do not stop on the Queen of Diamonds, okay? Can you promise me that?
I won't stop on the Queen of Diamonds.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Spidey. So I'm just going to deal them down, again, as slow as possible, and you can say stop whenever you want. It's 100% up to you. Just going to keep going here.
Stop right there.
Right there. Okay,
Yeah.
now, Spidey, I can see the card you stopped at was the Jack of Clubs, and I think it'd be a little less magical if I could see the card. So I'm going to make this card right here be your card. All right, Spidey?
Okay.
Now, that being said, are you happy with where you stopped, or do you want to change your mind? I'm giving you the choice. Do you want me to deal down more cards, or are you happy with where you stopped?
No, that's exactly what I wanted. I'm very happy with that.
Take a look at the card you selected, Spidey. I'm just going to show that to you guys up there. Everyone, take a look at the card.
Okay, it lagged for a sec, but yeah, we see it now.
All right, you got the card?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Now, Spidey, here's what I'm going to do as fair as possible. We're going to square up the cards and put them all back the way they were. And we're actually going to stick the card, Spidey, back inside of the magic Lego box. Exactly, just like so. Ta-da! Pretty cool, right, Spidey?
Insane.
I'm sure you're not impressed. I'm sure you're not impressed, especially after some of the other people we've seen. So I'm sure you're wondering what makes the magic Lego box so special. And that is that the Lego bricks on the outside of the box actually control what is on the inside. So right now we have red bricks on the outside of the box. And because the bricks are red, the cards inside are red, right? They have red backs, right? So what do you think would happen, Spidey, if I was to take off all of the red Lego pieces and replace them with blue ones? What do you think would happen?
Nothing, because that's not how life works. Oh no, you lagged.
Yes, you don't trust the magic Lego box. Well, we're going to try to prove
I don't trust the magic Lego box.
So we have this. And if the box did what I said it was going to do, they'd all be blue. But I want to take it one step further because you're thinking of a card, and I want your card to stand out. So I'm going to take this red Lego piece here, and I'm going to stick this one on as well to represent your card. And now, Spidey, if the box did what I said it was going to do, you'll see that every single card in the pack turns blue, Spidey, except for one card. Now, Spidey, you've been thinking of a card this whole time. For the very first time, what is the card that you named? What is the card you picked? The 4? Check it
Yeah.
out, Spidey. There it is. Your card right there. The
Oh,
4.
sorry.
Check that out. No, that's cool. That's cool, right, Spidey? That's cool. But I
Yeah.
want to take it one step further. Oh, we gotta do better than that. So I'm gonna put your card back in the box, okay, Spidey? But this time I'm gonna actually let you pick the color. So I've got a whole bunch of colored Lego pieces here, Spidey.
No way.
Any color you want. What color would you like to pick, Spidey?
I want the I want that. What's that one at the top there? On top of the sitting on top of the orange. There's like a beige one.
It's like a tan. It looks like a tannish color. Do you want tan?
Yeah, that one.
Okay, you want the tan. Now, is there any reason why tan, Spidey? Because, like, you know, it's kind of a interesting color. Any reason why?
Yeah, because like I was thinking to myself, I've seen all those other pieces. I've seen cards with that back, but I haven't seen one with that color. So I'm throwing you a curveball.
All right, awesome. So we're going to take the tan one, and we can actually get rid of all these. We don't need them anymore, Spidey. Now, Spidey, what's going to happen is the same thing as before. All right, my man? We're going to take the tan Lego piece, and when we take the tan brick and stick it on top of the magic Lego box, you get the gist by now, right? What happens is that's going to affect what happens to your 4. Okay, so Spidey, as fair as possible, what's going to happen? Real simple. Watch what we're going to do, Spidey. We're going to take the 4 of hearts. We're going to stick it inside the box. When I snap my fingers, if you take a look, one word is written on the back of your card, Spidey, and that is the one color you had chosen, which is tan. Check that out, Spidey. Your card, tan, and that, Spidey, is the powers of the magic Lego box. Thank you so much.
What just happened? How many? Oh man, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, can I? How many choices of color did I have in the box?
We had a ton. I mean, you could have taken green. You could have had yellow,
orange, green,
pink,
gray, purple, like a black, a white.
Yeah, lots of colors.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That doesn't make sense. Okay, put that thing away. That was incredible. I'm sorry I didn't yell, but that like my brain froze. We got to do this. We got to do this.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, let's plug your social media. Magic of Zachary Gutherman. Gutherman. How do you say it? Gutherman. That's on Instagram?
Yes.
Guys, we'll give him a follow on Instagram. He is shipping internationally the color-changing Lego box. $99.95. Send your money to SpideyMagic.com. I'm kidding, guys. That was incredible. Was the Lego box idea yours, or is that from somewhere else?
Yeah, so that's original. I actually have a Lego YouTube channel. I like doing all the Lego stuff. So I actually combined the two, which is Magic and Lego.
Dude, it's
and kind of created this on my own.
It's so clever to have this box that fits a deck where you remove the blue pieces, put the red pieces, or remove the red pieces, put the blue pieces, but keep that one little red piece to represent my card. That is the kind of presentation I love, because this, like, that's what makes Magic original. It's not the trick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a color-changing deck is a color-changing deck. But when you give it context and reason and give it all, man, that was incredible, dude. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Spidey.
Give me a virtual high five. All right, guys, we're going to say goodbye right now. Zachary, thank you so much. You were awesome. Peace.
Thank you, Spidey.
All right, guys, so that was it for the guests this week. Once again, if you guys want to join a live stream, you'll notice, oh, by the way, a lot of people are asking why, because usually I do them every other week, but this one, I waited 2 weeks to do it. It's likely that I'm going to do the live streams now every 2 weeks, or maybe even less often, because as it turns out, YouTube kind of stopped pushing my videos because I was doing too many live streams. It's something to do with the algorithm, because live streams are a lot longer than the short format. And although you guys are loving it, and I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate, seeing you guys and your feedback and your response and your participation, and it's important for me to keep doing that. A lot of my other videos were suffering because you know, I was doing live streams instead of working on the channel. So YouTube was like, so yeah, that's that. Now it's time, as you guys know, for my every stream I have a special guest, somebody that I admire, somebody that I look up to, and this is a recent friend of mine. This isn't someone that I've known as long as some of my other guests that I brought here that have been like lifelong friends. This is someone who's a recent friend, but I'm such a fan of his work and his thinking, and at such a young age, it's disgusting because at his age, I couldn't even pick up a deck of cards. But at his age, you know, the things he's done and the quality we see from him consistently is insane. You've seen him on the channel once before. He was in a vlog that I did in Hawaii at Shin's wedding and bachelor party. He was there doing some kick butt card magic, one of the kings of visual card magic. Welcome to the channel, Mr. Blaise Serra.
Hey, man. How
the
you
heck
doing?
are you?
Thank you so much for all the kind words, man. I really appreciate it. I look up to
Yeah,
you.
man. I mean, look, it's not every day. You know, I always say this on the channel, but I'm a huge fan, and I always appreciate humbleness. And nowadays, it's in very short supply. Everyone is, I guess it's the age of social media where we all kind of need to stand out. So we all, you know, I don't know what it is, but there's like this sort of entitlement happening nowadays that I talk about, especially amongst like the younger magicians, where it's like, I get all these messages from people like, yo, bro, please share my video. Or not even please, yo, bro, share my video. What do you think? Comment, like. And there, it seems like respect has gone out the window. But Blaise, with you, it's like from day one. And it's crazy because you're allowed to be entitled. You've done some amazing things for your age, but not once have I ever sensed that you have this arrogance or this sense of entitlement, always humble. And it's kind of like, for some people, the entitlement doesn't match the skill because they're this entitled and this skilled, but you've sort of flipped that. You're like this entitled and this skilled. So it's amazing to see that, Blaise.
That really means a lot. Thank you, man.
Yeah. And I kind of want to talk about, you know, so I've seen a lot of really great quality stuff. First of all, I know I told you this, but we didn't talk about it at great length. I'm a huge fan of what you did on Penn and Teller Fool Us. I think it's one of those examples of how on Fool Us sometimes they find an easy way out. Like they kind of say a couple of things to kind of show that they know a little bit of what was happening, but I'm convinced that Penn and Teller did not know the entirety of what you were doing and the intricacy of what you were doing. It was a beautiful routine. It was extremely clean, and it was what I loved about it was that the effect was mentalism, but the method behind it was so far from mentalism. Would you agree?
Very true. I thank you. Yeah, the method was absolutely taking from all different places. You know, I mean, some of it is some of the work that I've published, and so that, you know, I wasn't sure if they had seen before. I thought it was probably unlikely that they had ever heard of me or anything or seen that stuff. So then, you know, included that, and then also pulled from things that would be methods that you would normally see in very visual magic, like for close up, but then applying it in a non-visual way at all, you know, not using it for anything visual, using it for mentalism. And I thought that it would be a really fun combination. And they said some really, really kind words. And even though it wasn't, you know, exactly a fool, or, you know, they said
I don't think that matters. To be very honest, like, it's really cool to have that trophy and say I fooled Penn and Teller. But I think when you go on that show and you just have this killer routine, that, like, I think that's a win. And I think what you did was a complete win. And even Penn says this all the time, and Teller says it too. I know it's ironic saying Teller says this, but they both say that, like, fooling is just the hook of the show. It's like the way to get the show on the network. It's how it makes the show spicy and new, but it's about putting great magic on TV, and I really do believe that. And besides, there are times where I think they choose when they're fooled, you know, like, not to throw any flames on the show, but there are times where they see something and some part of it fools them, and they decide to focus on the part that fooled them and give a trophy. And sometimes they decide to focus on the part that didn't fool them and not give a trophy. You know, it's totally up to them, and it's their show. And
yeah, I mean, sometimes they throw out a lot of guesses, and like I remember seeing what's her name? There's an Australian female magician that's really spectacular. She's an illusionist, and she's been on the show multiple times. And I feel like every time she goes on, they're just asking her like, "What about this? Was it this? Was it this?" And then she's just like, "No, no, 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 no," going down the list. And then some people, it's like it's a one-shot thing. So
yeah, and that's fine. You know, it's also how they feel about the trick. Like, because here's the thing: sometimes they know they're fooled, so they just give it, and sometimes they kind of feel like they're not, but they're not 100% sure. So they kind of try to, you know, they know they're close. Like intuitively, they don't feel that, oh my God, fool this. And that's fine. It's totally up to them. But all this to say, without giving too much away, you know, it's crazy how watching your piece, I can almost see the influence of having worked with Shinlin, because you worked and consult, you know, still do work and consult very closely for Shinlin, which is how I met you. I see that, excited to see that influence, feel that influence. But I love what you said about how you took methods from areas of magic that are not mentalism. And I like that, because I do that too very often. My mind goes to mentalism always with everything. So when I see a visual, like a really visual vanish, like let's say somebody were to teach me a really visual coin vanish, like you take a coin, you put it in your hand, and it's freaking gone. Everybody would look at that and go, oh my God, that's a really cool coin vanish. I'm going to vanish coins. I wouldn't. I would go, I could do a really cool prediction, because if I show them a coin and I say I'm going to write something on the back of this coin and put it in my hand, well, now I could ring in another coin because that coin is gone. So I could do maybe like some sort of false transfer for a different coin and ring in something else. So my mind always goes to, how can I apply this? For example, like if you look at a mystery box or a vision box or clarity box, or all these boxes that people use for a card to box, for me, it's never a card to box. It's a prediction. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, totally. And I think that that's something that's a really good point, is that I think that there are some people in the magic community, and this is not at all to disparage anybody, because I feel like if you're doing magic, that's a great thing. You're a part of the community. There are some people that are part of the community that really feel as though the right way to do magic is kind of looking into history and then trying to replicate what has been done through history and pay homage to history. For me, I mean, my background in performance didn't start in magic. I started with music, like with guitar, and then went from that into theater and kind of film acting.
Wow.
More before I was doing a lot of magic performance, and then and then I was falling in love with magic and found myself spending a lot less time practicing guitar and a lot more time with a deck of cards in my hands. But the thing is that for me, I approach it from a theater perspective of when I'm trying to create a routine, I start at what would be the craziest thing that I could think of. And I try to go from that I know the me of right now, if I saw that thing, that idea, then I would be totally fooled, you know? And so starting from a place that's totally removed from method and being like, I want to do that would be so crazy. If I saw that, the me of right now would be fooled. And then I go like, what do I need to either research or create to be able to make that effect that I'm seeing in my mind, or as close as I can to making that happen, in order to achieve that? And then it's totally removed from method. And I know that by the time I get there, I'll be a totally different magician by the time that I get to that goal, because I'll have learned and grown along the way. And so it's kind of a thing of like, you can either set your path of like, I am going to progress as a magician by saying I'm going to open up Royal Road, or I'm going to open up Card College, and I'm going to go from page 1 to the last page of the book, and I'm going to study like a course that way. Or you can be like, I have this goal of what I'm going to create that I have no idea how to make, but I know that I'm going to try everything until I get there. And by the end of it, you will be a better magician than you were before. You'll have so much more knowledge, but also you'll have a definitive style because you went after your own ideas rather than necessarily like trying to focus on saying like, this is the right way to do magic. Because I think the great thing about magic, and what made me drawn to it more than all the other, things that I was into in performing, was that you could create anything, and you can really, make anything into your show. There isn't necessarily a right way to do it. It's just, if it astonishes the audience, you're doing magic, and that's beautiful. You can do anything. So yeah,
great,
that was the perspective.
That's great advice. I hope you guys are listening to this carefully, because there's so many lessons in what you just said. And even for me, like lights went off while you were saying that. Like, first of all, I love how your creative process embraces failure. Like, that's incredibly cool, because most people are scared of failure, and that's why a lot of people are scared to perform magic, because they sit there and they practice, but they're scared to actually go out and do it. But in your creative process, you're embracing failure. You're saying, I want to get to this point, and I know I'm going to hit a lot of walls on the way there, but that'll just help me grow as a person. And it's crazy how that, even before that failure motivates you, even before that failure arises, you've already embraced it. And I think that's so healthy. That's ridiculous. And the second thing you said that really stands out to me is, and it's so true, I never thought of this, is that with magic, there's no limit. You could build anything you want into your show. So if you want your show to have an emotional moment, and you want to talk about an emotional moment of your life, you can do that. And if you want, and I could see how you apply this, Blaise, because when I taught you my unreleased trick, which we're still working on, and you know this, and we've been talking about it for a while, but my flashcards, which I did once,
I've done in multiple shows, and it's like one of the biggest reactions, and it's actually crazy that it gets some of the most emotional reactions from people. Because I turned it into a kind of thing that was based on language, and then I remember a bunch of people that were from Mexico that came to after my show and came up to me, and they specifically talked about that routine using your flashcards, and they were talking about how like that meant so much to them that it became like a celebration of their culture and their language in the middle of a magic show. And they were like,
and the point is, I remember when I showed you the routine with the flashcards, and again, I don't want to give too much away. They've seen me do the trick on the channel, but they, I haven't talked much about what it is, because we're still, because of the lockdown, we're still taking our sweet time publishing it and making the video. But the moment you saw it, it's like I don't know if it was at that second, but it was like almost immediately after we spoke about it, you already knew what you wanted to do with it, and you had this vision for it that was very clear in your head. We're like, this is what you want to do in your show. You wanted to have this multi-language act in your show, and that's what this was going to do for you. So it's crazy how you can do that with magic, whereas with music, you're limited, because people who come to a certain type of music show want to hear a certain type of music. So if Ed Sheeran started playing hard rock in the middle of his show, or like heavy metal, it may not go over so well. You know what I mean? Or if AC/DC started singing a love ballad, it might be difficult. So, but with magic, you don't have that. You can have one piece that's really, really funny, and then you can work on a piece that comes from the heart, and then you can work on a piece that involves multiple languages. And it's amazing that I never thought of that. So Blaise, thank you for that. And I think a lot of the subscribers, that needs to click in your heads, that magic allows you to just do whatever you want. And this is such a great creative process. And it's
one last point I was going to say on the, sorry to interrupt. One last point I was going to say on the thing that you were talking about at the beginning, that when you see, say, a card to box, you're like, okay, that can be part of a mentalism routine and taken into a totally different approach. One thing that I would say for people, like a lot of times I get questions from people asking about like how to find your own style, in magic, or how to be yourself, how to be different as a magician. And I think that a part of that is because of the process of setting out to do something that you feel like would be really crazy to you or would be really meaningful to you, and then going down that path and trying to create something that you haven't seen before. But also, like what you were talking about, instead of thinking of the tricks of the past as just what they are and being like, we need to replicate that, you can also think of them as tools in your toolbox or your tool belt. Yeah, exactly.
I was literally thinking right now the words tools in your toolbox.
Exactly. Yeah, they're tools in your toolbox. And it's so then what happens is when you're trying to visualize a routine, it's almost like you're trying to build a house, and it's like, this is what I want my mansion to look like, and I know that it will look like this in the end. And now what tools do I have at my disposal to be able to build that? It's like, if you start, I think there's like some kind of quote, and I don't want to butcher it, but the idea of like, if you have a hammer and you start with a hammer, then everything will look like a nail. And it's just this idea that if you start with a method and you go, how can I make a magic routine out of this? Then you're limiting yourself to, it has to be done this way. But if you go like, what would be the dream effect? And then you work backwards to, how do I solve that? Like, what methods do I need? And you go through magic history and you try to find, either in archives or in books or whatever, the information that might have already been out there. If you don't find anything, then you might need to create a method that fills that gap. But it's like using the history of magic as tools in order to build something. And then you're able to then take that thing that you've made and then kind of contribute it to the art of magic and like, you know, and give that back. And now people in the future then can look back on the thing that you made and, you know, and then use that as a tool in their toolbox to make something even grander.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's so amazing. These are all such great lessons that I hope you guys are soaking in. Somebody corrected me and said, Don, thank you, said AC/DC does have love songs. Fine, granted. You get my point, though.
Yeah.
They can't sing like a boy band song, is what I'm saying. But yeah,
and the Fool Us routine that you were talking about, part of that actually came from seeing Ben Seidman on Fool Us years ago. Seeing his
watch wallet.
Exactly. And at the beginning of the act, and I've talked to Ben about this, I told him, because at the beginning of the act, he comes out and he walks out with a single playing card. He like pulls it out of his jacket and then he's like, Pen, name any card. But he does it as a joke, you know, and then he's just like, oh, that would have been really cool. And he puts it away.
Yeah.
But in that moment, I paused the TV, and this is years ago when I was pretty early on in Magic and hadn't moved out to LA or anything. And I was like, if that had actually happened, I would have freaked out right now. If he had just pulled out a single card, been like, Pen, name anyone, it's it. And that I would have been like, that was the craziest effect ever. So then I set out on trying to make that thing. So then that eventually became my opener for my castle set for a couple years, was walking out with a single playing card. And I set criteria for myself when I'm trying to find the method. So it's like, I'm not allowed to touch the card at all with my other hand. So it's like, it has to be something where I walk out with a single playing card, I toss a ball with this hand into the audience, whoever catches it names anyone, and then I turn it over with this hand, because I didn't want there to be any way that I could add something in or switch it from my other hand. So I wanted the image of like, here, name anyone, bam. And so then, you know, once you set criteria for like what you want it to look like, then you can find the method that actually works for that context. And that evolved into the Polaroid thing for Fool Us.
Yeah. Do you ever accept that you may not get there?
I think that you try to get as close as you can. And then once you're able to have something that works, that gets close, then you can revise a thing that you have. You know, I wouldn't necessarily, unless it was something where it's like, I know the exact perfect method for this, but it's going to cost so much that I can't afford, or something like that, which I don't know if I've encountered before. But usually I don't really abandon the idea. I just go like, you know, I'll find what gets me as close as I can to the original idea, and then try and eventually get it closer and closer through, you know, revising it.
Yeah. And, you know, I think what you're touching on right now is the reason that most of us tend to be a lot more creative and create a lot more stuff in our younger years in Magic. So if you look at my creative process or my creative journey in Magic, all my masterpieces, like my killer creative things, that's like, what the hell? Very few of them are from the last 5 years. A lot of it is from the beginning, because in the beginning we know so little. So we want to do something, or we see a magician do something, or we hear something, or we think of something, and we're not limited by our knowledge. So we have to come up with new ways to do it. And often that creativity blossoms a lot more. And now I've read so many books and watched so many videos and seen so many lectures that whenever I want to do something, there's like this concrete path that's been put there by what I know and what I've seen, which I often try to break. And it's interesting how people who don't know a lot about magic can create better magic than people who know, because when we know, we're subconsciously limited by this knowledge. And this brings me to another point, which is something you were talking about earlier. Because you were saying, you know, instead of looking at something as an end result, look at it as a tool. One of the things I do, which I love, is when I buy a new product in Magic, like a new trick that was released, I put in the video and I watch it until I'm told how the prop works. Then I stop. I don't watch any of the routines. I don't watch any of the performances. I don't watch any of the extra ideas, bonus handlings, nothing. I just look at how the thing, like how can I use this without breaking it? That's pretty much all I want to know. Yeah. Because from that point in time on, I want to come up with handlings. I want to come up with different ways to do things. And I want to come up with additional thoughts. And then weeks later, I might go back and watch the rest of the video. I often don't. But even when I do, I find that I took it in a very different direction than what the creator did. Because think about it, the creator who created this effect isn't smarter than you. They just thought of something different than you did. But based on that ground level idea, you might go somewhere very different with it than they did. So yeah, I really encourage that sort of looking at it as a tool, not necessarily as an end result. And it's interesting because when we create, there's so many different ways to create magic. A lot of magic is method-based, and a lot of creators do great with that. For example, two names come to mind. One is Jay Sankey. You know, Jay Sankey will learn a move like the $100 bill switch or the Erdnase color change, and he'll come up with 1,000 amazing effects with that idea. It's just how his mind works. Yeah. Shin is another great example. I know Shin is very end result based as well. Sometimes he tells himself, I want to do this. How am I going to do that? But Shin is also a master of learning a new method. Like you tell him a method, and I don't want to name his methods, but you know some of the ones I'm talking about. Yeah. And he'll just come up with 1,000 ways to make that look really, really good.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Yeah, and we've talked about that kind of difference in our natural like creative approach to something. Yep. It's like that he will like keep building stuff over and over and over and coming up with new gimmicks or coming up with new sleights and just keep building things over and over and over and over. And then once he has all of these different methods, then he's able to then look at it and go, okay, these are the good ones. These are the bad ones. These are the ones that work together in this really harmonious way. And then he just constantly is coming up with like anything he sees, he's like, how would I do it? And then he does it in his own way. And, you know, so there is nothing wrong with taking the method and then building upwards from that, you know.
Sure.
It's just like don't think that you need to be limited to how things have been done before, I guess is the more important.
Absolutely, 100%. And it's interesting because my approach to creating is neither. It's neither method based nor effect based. It's presentation based. So for me, it's like I want to do a trick where I talk about what I talk about. So, as an example, one of my top sellers on Theory 11 is called Psycho, where they think of a card and they name a shape and number, and then you show that the backs of the cards, each one has a random shape and a random number, and the card that they thought of has the shape and the number that they named. And my starting point for that was the Rorschach test, which is when a psychologist shows you an ink blot and says, what does this remind you of? And you say an elephant or a butterfly or, it's whatever. And that was, I said, I want a trick that relates to the Rorschach test, where I relate how thoughts in their head relate to one another or have a connection to one another. And that's where I started. I came up with this completely new trick because there was nothing to my satisfaction that existed out there. And that's how I often create. I tell myself, I want to tell my spectators a story about this. So sort of how you did. I want to do a multi-language trick. How, and then you find the trick that fits that presentation. And I really love that because for me, magic is so much more than amazing you or showing off what I could do. And it's about connections and sharing moments. So I want to bring important presentation into it. Amazing.
Yeah, and you can even go on a very macro scale with that when it comes to a show. Like my last show that I did, which was now it's a while ago. It was last February. Before everything shut down. I started with the entire narrative of the story I wanted to tell with the show from beginning to middle to end. So I knew the story of the show and starting from like a theater sense, and then I thought about, okay, what are the different moments along the way that would take place in the story and guide the audience along that journey. And then it was like, okay, now what effects then can be almost like when you're reading a book, the illustrations that pop out at you and then I'm illustrating the story I'm telling through these effects. And then we go back to, okay, now what is the method to make those effects happen? Because I already know the perfect home in the show for what I'm trying to do. And so before even starting with the effect, it was what is the presentation, in the narrative, then the effect, and then how do we solve that, method-wise. And so going like top down, and that's not necessarily the best way to create something, but I felt like for me, it allowed me to not be limited by my repertoire of effects that I currently had, and instead allowed me to focus on what is like and this is something Whit Hayden talks about, Pop Hayden, if people are familiar with his work. He's great, and he talks about the water cooler talk. It's like after people leave the show, what are they saying to their friends that haven't seen the show? If they call up their sister and they're like, oh my gosh, I just saw this guy. It was amazing. How are they describing it? Because the thing is that what's so cool about magic, it doesn't just live in this moment of me performing it for you right now. It lives on in the memory of this person. And if it's really good, if it's really strong, then it makes an impact that they could be telling people for years and years after it's about this one day.
And what's crazy, Blaise, without going too much into detail on this, you can manipulate that story. This is why it's so funny.
It's a huge magic technique. Yeah.
Exactly. So I am better in the stories people tell about me than I actually am in real life, because I have them misremember things, and I say things like that in the show. Like, there are moments where I'll say something like, there's one moment I'm thinking about in my show where there's a prediction in a balloon and I pop it and the prediction falls to the ground and I say, all right, guys, so let's be honest. You guys are a smart audience. We're having a great night here. And tomorrow you're going to tell all your friends about what happened here. But I want you to get this part right. Because when you tell them about this moment, they're going to say, he must have switched it. I want you to remember this moment, and that when I picked up that prediction, I could not have switched it. And I reach over and I pick it up. And I go, could I have switched that? And they go, no. And I go, remember that when you tell this story.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. And so now they're telling the story, and they're going to leave out even more details and only tell the craziest ones. And now you're just an absolute god, because like you is like
I find the story I want them to tell.
Exactly. Yeah. Which is a huge thing. And so I think if people start from, if they're trying to write a show, it can be nice to start even before you get into what is the story I'm trying to tell. You can go, what is the memory that I want to leave the spectator with? What do I want them saying about what they just experienced? And how are they going to tell their friends about it? And then once you go from there, you go, okay, well, this is the story that I want to tell that brings them there. These are the effects that illustrate that. These are the methods, the tools in my toolbox from what I've learned from magic history to make those effects happen. And now you got a show.
Absolutely. Amazing. Blaise, let us talk about this super exciting project that you're working on. Guys, I'm so happy you guys are still here. For all of you guys who follow, those of you who love magic, those of you who love to perform, there is something really exciting Blaise is working on that I am now going to let him talk about. Blaise, tell us what it is you're doing right now.
All right. So I'm really excited. Thank you for the opportunity, Spidey, to let everybody know about this.
Actually, sorry. Before you say that,
yes.
I kept wanting to ask you this. We kept getting sidetracked.
Yes.
Were you watching all the other performances, or were you like getting ready and stuff?
Was I watching the other performances? Yeah, I was watching. I was watching most of them. I think one of them I had to step out for, but I watched most of them.
Did you see Aaron's, the first one?
No, I didn't get to see. I didn't get to see most of Aaron's.
Go back and watch it. Huge coincidence. He used One-Armed Bandit.
He did. Oh, I want to check it out. Oh, that's awesome.
But he did something really, really crazy, great with it. Like to the point where he's still here. I can see him. He's watching. He's listening. But do go back and watch it. It was the first performance. I mean, you saw him backstage earlier. But yeah, he didn't even say anything. But he used some of your work in his trick, and I thought that was really awesome.
That's so awesome! Wow, I'm excited. I'm definitely going to go back and check it out. Thank you for doing that, Aaron. And yeah, I loved Zach's presentation. I thought that was so creative with Legos.
So I mean, everyone today was astounding. Anyways, Blaise, take it away. Tell us what you're working on that I'm super excited about.
All right, everybody. So I'm really excited to let everyone know about 1v1 Magic. This is a Magic tournament that's going to be taking place the first week of February. And submissions are still open if you'd like to be a part of the competition. Spidey just threw up 1v1magic.com is where you can go if you want to be a part of the competition. This is a Magic tournament that is it's kind of unique in the Magic world because we're not separating people based on what genre of Magic that you do. Most Magic competitions that you go to in person, you're going to be first asked, what category are you? You know, are you close up? Are you parlor? Are you stage? Are you mentalism? Whatever it is, and then you're put in that category and you compete against people of that category. Instead, because this competition is not going to be based on method or who did the most difficult thing or who fooled us the most. Instead, it's going to be based purely on entertainment level and personality, creativity, just who presented the most fun routine. It's where any magician of any kind of genre, it could be a mentalist, stage magician, whatever, gets put head to head in the bracket against another magician of any genre, and then they both perform an act up to 5 minutes, And then they're both given scores live by the judges and the guest judges, and Spidey is going to be one of the guest judges. So we're really excited about that. So if you want Spidey to see your magic, then you can jump in the competition. And then we go through whoever gets the higher score in the categories of entertainment value, creativity, and personality. Whoever gets the highest score from the judges then moves on to the next round. And then you get the chance to keep competing in the 1v1 championship until you win. And so the prizes, first off, the winner gets a $50 gift card to any magic shop that they choose. So if you just let us know, Theory 11, Illusionist, whatever you want, we will make sure that you get the gift card to them. And then you also win a one-of-a-kind Magic Discord hoodie. This is the Magic Discord logo, hoodie, and everything, which is where we're running the competition. And it'll also say on the back, we've got the 1v1 Magic logo, but yours will say 1v1 Magic Champion if you win the whole thing. So you'll have a one-of-a-kind one. You also win a special role on the Discord server that says 1v1 Magic Champion. And there's a couple extra prizes that we're currently just sorting out, but there will be additional things as well. So that's the prizes. That's the format of it. So if you want to be a part of the competition, what you do is you just go to 1v1magic.com, 1v1magic.com. When you go to 1v1magic.com, that will open up Discord, and it'll invite you to the Discord server. So you just accept the invite, join the Discord server, and then once you're in, then in any of the text channels, then all you have to do is just type !1v1. So I'll just go into, actually I can close out my Discord because it opened up my Discord app. But we're here, and then we go into general chat, and we just do !1v1. We type that in. When you do that, it'll send you a notification you have access to the 1v1 Magic text channel. And in this 1v1 Magic text channel, the little things with the hashtags on the side, you go to 1v1 Magic, and this gives you the link for the application form. And then here's also a frequently asked questions thing that gives you all the info that you need to know about the form. If you fill out this form by Tuesday, then you can be a part of the competition and be a part of 1v1 Magic. So that's the whole elevator pitch, and I appreciate you.
Right. Some people are asking, where can they watch it? Like if they don't want to sign up, but they want to watch the entries in the contest,
Yeah.
where is that? Is it going to be on the Discord?
So the Discord is where people will compete. And if you're a magician, you can jump in the Discord. You can hang out with us. We have jams every week. We jam pretty much every day at this point. But, if you want to meet other magicians, hang out with me, hang out with other magicians, then we're on there. But if you want to watch it live, it'll be streamed live on Twitch. So twitch.tv/Blaise Serra. It's spelled the same as my Instagram app that you can see below me. Twitch.tv/Blaise Serra. And that's where you can find the stream if you just want to watch in the audience, support your friends that are going to be competing, and that's how you do it.
Awesome, guys. So that's amazing. So keep in mind, guys, we're going to do a tutorial really soon with Blaise. He's going to show us something incredible. But before we get to that, this is an amazing opportunity for you guys, all you guys who practice magic. And again, the focus is on presentation and not so much the trick itself, which I think is amazing. That means all levels can compete and it'll be fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So guys, listen, if you're into magic, you're learning magic, you're starting magic, you've been doing magic a while, please go check him out. His Instagram is right at the bottom right now, under his name, Blaise Serra. That's his Instagram. 1v1magic.com is where you can enter the
notifications on Twitch. Thank you, guys. Just some people that are following, and it's popping up on my head. Thank you.
Great. So guys, listen. Here's what we're gonna do. So Blaise, we have a little ritual, little routine here on the channel before we do tutorials. And here's the way it works. If they want to get that tutorial, they got to go right now on Instagram and follow the heck out of you, and then they come back and let us know in the live chat that they followed you. And I put up them saying they followed you on the screen, and you thank them by name. So just their first name or their handle.
I'm excited to. Thank you, everybody. Yes, thank you for the follows already on Twitch. Hypnotic Rhythm, Harold, Desic, Gibbles Grosso. Interesting, but thank you guys so much.
Guys, go give him a follow on Instagram, Blaise Serra. You see it right under his face there, BLAISESERRA. go hit follow and then come back to the chat and say follow or followed or did it or whatever, and we're going to put those up, and Blaise is going to thank you guys by first name. We're giving you guys a second to go do that. Everyone can follow. He's going to give you guys a sick tutorial in a minute. Also, guys, please go sign up to the competition, 1v1magic.com. I'm excited to see you guys there. Just giving you guys a
It's gonna be a lot of fun, and it's if you are the kind of person that you're not a move monkey in Magic or whatever, you just enjoy it as a hobby. This is the perfect competition for you, because unlike most Magic competitions, thank you everybody for the follows, it's not going to be judged on who's doing the most difficult stuff. Instead, it's really just who lets their personality shine through and who's just entertaining. And the judges, we're here to support you. The thing is also, you can either do if you keep progressing through the competition, you can either do a different trick every round, or you can do the same routine, and we'll give you feedback, positive, constructive feedback, no negative, no hate. We're just trying to support you. And if we have ideas for how you could show your personality more in the routine each round, then you could hone a routine and just do that same one, and you could make it all the way to the finals. So yeah, it's definitely an opportunity for people of any skill level. Don't be intimidated thinking that like, oh, this guy, my friend, is so great at doing the DPS, so like I'm not going to be able to beat him. It's like he might be great at the DPS, but if you're more fun to watch, then you have a better chance. So
yeah, like you said, pull a Shin Lim, win this by doing the same thing multiple times. Blaise, I'm gonna put some names up so you could thank them for. Yeah, it is worldwide, the competition, right, Blaise?
Yes, yeah, it's worldwide, and we'll also once the submissions close, which is this Tuesday, so make sure that you submit as soon as possible.
You guys have 2 days, 2 days to sign up. Don't put it off like, oh, I'll do it next week. You don't have time. It closes on Tuesday. Right after the stream, go sign up.
Yeah, and then once you sign up, we will we're going to set it up so that there's a form that's sent out to all the competitors that has a bracket that is first come first serve, so you can schedule it based on your time zone to make sure that it's something that works for you, instead of being forced into a time zone and having to stay up until 5 a.m. or whatever to be able to compete, because we want to be as accommodating as we can. Of course, if you progress in the competition and now you're into the finals, we don't know who you're going to get put up against. You'll still be able to choose your time slot, but then it's really you might have to stay up a little bit late to do it. But if you jump in early on filling out the form, then you'll be able to lock down a time that works for you.
In it to win it. Let's all right, Blaise.
Sure, all of your followers are going to be in it to win it.
Yeah. So Blaise, now you have to thank people by name. Go.
Yes. Johnny, thank you so much for the follow. Johnny Barford. Iman Ahmed, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. Kieran Cook, I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Natana Leah Mizrachi followed. Thank you. Len, thank you. On Twitch and Instagram. Thank you so much. At Blaise Serra. Appreciate it. Magic Blueprint. Thank you guys so much. Sean Hawk Magic.
Sean's awesome.
Already followed. Appreciate it, dude. Sergio, thank you. Iman Ahmed, I think we got you already, but a double follow. Appreciate it. No, it's all right. Done 100 times, done all over. Really appreciate it, Vedant.
All right, guys. So that's Blaise Serra. You guys go follow him. We're going to close this thing as usual with a sick tutorial from our guest. This is something I'm really excited about because it blew my socks off. So Blaise, what are we learning today?
Okay, so I'll do a quick routine and then I'll teach part of it. Okay, so here, first off, Spidey, we've got a deck of cards right here. We've got this Joker. So what I'd like you to do is imagine that you are looking through this Joker, right here. Imagine you're looking through this Joker and seeing any one of these 52 cards. Okay, so which one?
Hold on, you're lagging a little. Give me 1 sec. Give me 1 sec. Yeah, 1 sec. You weren't before, and then all of a sudden, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so here we have a Joker. So imagine you're looking through this Joker. Which one do you imagine it turning into?
6 of clubs.
The 6 of clubs. All right, so now all we have to do to get the 6 of clubs, I'm going to actually switch over to here so you can see. So now we have the Joker. If you watch, all I need is one finger, and now all I do, I just touch the Joker, and now actually see it change into the 6 of clubs. You could have named anyone. And now, obviously, that happened with the deck face down, where I touched the card, and you could only see it when I turned my hand face up. But I want to try this a little bit different. I want to try this where instead you can see everything that's happening as it happens. All right. So here we have the Joker. And now imagine that you're looking through it. You're looking down through the Joker. You're going to watch this the entire time and see that the moment I touch the card, it changes. So which one do you imagine it turning into?
3 of hearts.
The 3 of hearts. Okay. So now you're imagining 3 hearts across the face. 1, 2, 3 of hearts. The moment I touch the card, it changes. You can see the Joker's going here. So let's teach some of that.
That's so good.
Thank you, man.
Now we're not going to learn that whole thing because that's some of your best work, but we're going to learn what I think is so cool is that last moment where there's that visual change, because that is a move that a lot of people do wrong, face down, and you do it face up, and I can't see a damn thing. So yeah.
All right. So yeah, we'll get into it. So basically, this is kind of my touch on a move that a lot of people are already familiar with. That's why I felt like it would be the perfect thing to show on the channel, is that, you know, most people are already familiar with the pass or different kinds of shifts. There's so many different variations out there. And this is a variation on Steve Drawn's midnight shift. But it's kind of, I'd say that it's kind of taken its own path away from that. So it's not really the same
midnight shift
technique, but it's very
itself.
similar.
Sorry, Blaise. So correct me if I'm wrong. The midnight shift itself is a Herman pass, right?
Yes, it's a Herman pass. So if anybody does the Herman pass, which is like this, where so if people might know the classic pass, where when you do the classic pass, you're bringing the top packet around the deck to the bottom. The Herman pass is the opposite, where you're bringing the bottom packet up and around to the top.
Yeah. So guys, for those of you, sorry, Blaise. For those of you who have seen the channel, we had a couple of weeks ago, or a couple of months ago, we had Xavier Spade talk about the classic pass, which is basically a control where a card goes from the middle to the top, and that's basically because you grab that top packet and you swing it around to the bottom to bring that card to the top. A Herman pass, or it's also called the turnover pass, but the turnover pass has the additional motion of turning the deck over as a cover. So the turnover pass is where it looks like you're turning the cards over, but in fact, that bottom packet turns over first and then the top packet, and you've done the move. But the Herman pass is not without the turnover. It's just that bottom packet that goes around. The midnight shift, the midnight shift was an evolution to that, where it was done over here to the side as a color change. So Blaise, maybe you could just perform the midnight shift without
absolutely. Yeah. So what you were talking about was the turnover pass. Like, let's say that we've got the Queen of Hearts here in the middle, and then we do this, we turn over the deck, and now it's on top. So that's using the Herman pass.
Sorry, that lagged right when you did the move.
Okay. Am I still lagging or am I good?
No, now it comes and goes.
Weird. Okay. Okay. So we've got, let's say, like the King of Diamonds. Put the King of Diamonds back into the deck, and now it's on top. So that's in a turnover kind of fashion, but you're doing the same kind of move, but now in this sense with the midnight shift. Let's say that someone were to name a card that they see in the middle. Let's say they named the Ace of Clubs. All right. So now if we just square up the deck, now the Ace of Clubs comes to the face. And so that's
it lagged exactly when you did the move.
All right. Okay. So here we've got the 6 of Hearts. And now we're going to just square up the deck, and now 6 of Hearts is at the face. So that's doing the midnight shift. Yeah. Now, the thing about the midnight shift is that in order to really do it properly as a color change, exactly as you said, Spidey, there is this turning to the side and doing things at this kind of angle. Whereas if you do the shift that I'm going to show people, it's kind of taking that midnight shift, but then moving it so that it's not at this side angle. Instead, it happens just right in front of you. So that's kind of the difference for it. So I'll actually move myself just over to here. I want to get myself on this side. So there we go. So that's a little better. So now we have a little more space to show everybody. But here is kind of the action. Now, what you can do is not have your other hand be a part of the move at all. So first off, what we need to do is change the angle that we're shifting the packet at. So if anybody knows the Herman pass, I'll do just a really quick explanation on that. You have your index finger curled underneath, and what's happening is that this packet, you're pushing up with your index finger, and you're also kind of cradling it with your pinky like this. So you're
I've also thought the base of the thumb, Blaise, the base of the thumb also kind of helps in kind of giving it a bit of a push.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when I do it personally, I don't, but that if it helps people, they should do that. Yeah, to have the base of the thumb help with.
Well, whatever. Basically, you're just, guys, this is the bottom packet, and it's just sort of like pivoting open.
And
Cool.
so then when you do the Herman pass, what's happening is that your right hand acts as cover, and we can actually just show from the front what it would look like if you were to flash the whole thing. You would bring this over, and now you get to the point where it clears this packet, and then you bring this up and over. So now the bottom packet clears the top. And that is basically, if you were to flash the Herman pass, that's what it would look like.
Blaise, is the top packet moving at all?
The top packet is not moving at all in the traditional Herman pass. No. In this one, it is moving. So that's kind of the difference. And the way that I think about it is if you're in math class, right, and you're doing a graph, there's the x-axis, which is, the horizontal axis. You've got the y-axis, that's the vertical axis. But there's also the z-axis, which is the forward and back in like 3D space, the front to back axis. So I use that to create more cover. And so basically I use this front packet more like a curtain. And I've seen quite a few people, do this kind of concept. But basically, you can tilt this front packet forward. Now, that's very extreme, tilting it that much. But you can tilt this front packet forward. And what I do at the same time is I bring this hand and I just lower it. So now we've created this kind of perpendicular angle here, this 90-degree angle. And so if I were to show it like this overhead, basically, we bring this forward, and now this packet swings out. And now they are at a 90-degree angle to each other. They're perpendicular. Wow. So instead of this, where it's going just sideways and the packet is just going underneath like this, instead what's happening is we tilt a little bit forward, we tilt our wrist a little bit back, and this kicks up, and now they meet at this kind of angle here. So now when you do that as the shift, that's what it looks like. It's basically this tilts up a little bit, this kicks around, and I actually don't use my index finger to push up, but you absolutely can if you prefer that. I just pull with my pinky, but it's entirely up to you. If you feel more secure using your index, then you can do that. So we're here, we kick this up, and now what happens is our hand comes in a little bit, and that's when we complete. But the action that I do is inspired a lot by the Midnight Shift, because the Midnight Shift involved this kind of cover where you're sideways, and then you twist up for the squaring of it. And doing this kind of squaring allowed the completion of the packet like that to be covered, because you were here and then you're doing this. So
great. That kind of reminds me like of the window change, which I don't know if you remember. I don't even know if it's called that, but there was this old change where you're like here.
Window change,
where they could see the card, and then as you open your fingers, that was a really bad change. I went from a 7 of spades to a 10 of spades, but they could see the change happen through your fingers. It kind of reminds me of that, because it's like the hand is being used as the cover. But so basically, Blaise, what you're doing is you're here, and this packet's moving forward as that one goes up there. So it's ending up here.
Yes.
Which is so great. Because typically it would be like this, and that's a flash.
Yes.
But now you've completely shifted the handling, and that goes around, and now you just bring this hand back, because this is the finger you said was going to touch it. And is there a spin, or you've removed this spin motion?
So the spin I do a little bit differently. So the original spin was going up, like you're basically turning like this, and then you're squaring. What I realized is that your right hand doesn't need to do much at all in this move. So if you're here, I'm just in this position now. So I've tilted up a little bit. We've gotten to the point where we've kicked past, obviously my right hand would be farther over as cover, but we get to the point where I've kicked past, and now I just relax a little bit, and this packet is resting here, and this packet's just chilling to the side, kind of leaning on the edge of the deck. So, so now we're in this position, and this right hand isn't doing anything, you know? And now,
hold on. At this point, your left hand is holding the pack still, the top pack? Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that. So you've transferred the top packet into your left hand.
Yes. So basically, my thumb and index finger are holding this packet, and it's kind of resting here. If I go over top, we should be able to see here that it's kind of resting like that, where it's now in my left hand, and I'm just holding it straight. My thumb is kind of pulling down on this index corner to keep it there. But you could absolutely have your right hand still be holding it at this point.
Yeah, because I was using my index finger to pivot that packet outwards, so my right hand still has to hold it.
So in this case, yeah, because I don't use my index finger for the first packet, I have it free to hold the other packet. So I just move this up to get that to clear, and then I immediately let it drop into my hand. So now it's hanging out there, and the packet's over to the side. So now the squaring becomes entirely one-handed.
Oh, so, okay. So then you're going this way, not this way.
So yeah, the action then becomes this. It's like here, and now I tap. And what's happening is that because I'm in this position, all I need to do is get this packet that's being suspended to just fall over onto the packet. And you need to practice a little bit the squaring of, like, you know, having it kind of fall into your index finger and into your thumb, because they're already holding down these two corners. And if you square any two corners of the packet, then the other two will automatically be square. So it's like if you're here and then you just have it fall into your index and thumb, then
okay. So I think, Blaise, here's the thing. If you guys are using your index to flip the packet, you can't really ever let go. The right hand has to stay there to hold it, and then you do it that way, which I don't know how that looked.
So yeah, I'll do it that way then. I'll use it where my right hand is holding onto the packet until the end. Oh, what were you going to say, Spidey? Sorry. I was just going to say, so if people do it that way, I'll do it where I don't hand it over to this hand. Okay, I'll do it where my index is underneath. So it looks like this. So it's basically the same thing. It's basically just that your index stays to the back of the deck. And now actually this packet is actually still able to chill there, but my index just stays curled underneath. So it's basically here, and now the index is underneath, but I'm holding on to the packet until the very last moment. And then I just let go with my right hand so that it falls into my left hand, and at the same time, this packet falls on top of it. So it's basically here, and you let go, and everything will coalesce. So right now, I'm holding it up until the last second and let go. What were you saying?
So on that spin here, you're letting go of this packet for it to fall behind that packet.
Exactly. Yeah.
Got it. Very important.
So like this, and then there.
So basically, this is my first attempt. Here we go. Here we go. So we go here. Okay, hold on. I'm going to try to do this way and there.
Yeah.
Whatever. Work in progress.
Yeah, yeah. And it's about kind of like getting used to this kind of the index and thumb being here and kind of being guides for the packet. Because I've definitely, when I was first working on this, I definitely had the issue a ton of times of this kind of, you know, falling not at a square angle. And so it's when you try to kind of launch this packet in the direction of your index finger so that it's like hitting your index and your thumb, and they're able to square it.
That's brilliant. So you're doing this.
Exactly. Yeah. They actually a little bit squeeze together. They kind of like come together towards the corner just a little bit in order to get the packets to coalesce. So it's like dink, and then they square it up. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And so I do a little bit of that turn up, because I find that turn up that's in the midnight shift, instead of going from sideways to vertical, which is like a 90-degree turn, I go basically 180. I'm here, it's down, and now the club, now I basically just rotate like this. And in that same action, I just use a tap, you know, to cover it. And I feel like then it gives the impression that the moment I tapped is when it changed. So it's basically here and there, because most passes, your hands are together. And I wanted it to feel like my hands were apart when the move happens. So when I do this, they're left with the image of that my hand was really far away and all I did was touch, and it feels like my right hand has nothing to do with the move. So then it feels like I couldn't have even done a move because my hands were like apart rather than together like your traditional pass.
Blaise, do you know Leonard Green's float pass?
Somebody showed it to me a while. I don't know the technique. No.
So there's a lot of things about this that remind me of that. Like what's that? Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Why my focus so bad? Oh, hold on. Memory card full. Okay, well that's the 8 of diamonds. It's blurry, but there it is. And basically the float pass, it has a lot in common because you just spin the deck around, square it up, and there it is.
Mm.
But it's I can't teach that, but it's very similar to like that Z-axis and moving forward as cover. But anyways, amazing touch on all this. Blaise, I want to thank you so much for your time here today, for talking to us about all the really interesting theory you talked about, the contest, guys. I hope you guys go to 1v1 Magic and sign up. Follow Blaise on Instagram for more information about that. I can't wait to see you guys. I'm going to be on one of the days. I'm going to be hanging out there and helping Blaise judge. So can't wait to see you guys. Blaise, again, thank you so much, man. I can't thank you enough.
Thank you so much for having me, man. I really appreciate it. And I'm really excited to have you as a judge. It's going to be awesome.
All right, guys. Well, let me know in the comments what you thought of this. I will see you guys next week on a brand new video. But for now, we're going to say goodbye. Peace out, everyone. Have an awesome rest of your weekend if you have any of it left. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.